Hey guys, I am live, as they say. I haven't done a live video like this ever, but we're gonna do one today on tiny towns. We're doing an unboxing, plus I'm gonna do an overview of how to play the game, and then I've got some thoughts on the game itself, who would be good for, and so on and so forth. So it's a one to six, no, not one to six, 2 to 6 player game. I'm sorry, it is a 1 to 6 player game. You can play this by yourself, and there are instructions in here on how to do that. I thought there was. I haven't opened it yet. I do know how to play it. And that is because I've done my research. Where's my knife? There we go. I'm still live and I've still got my knife. Sit down there. I hate to get a game marked up in any way. This game came pristine today from our good friends at the evil Amazon.com, because they're going to rule everything someday. If you ever worked for any other retailer, as I have, other than Amazon.com, you know, unless you're Walmart or Staples, you know you're in trouble. Or could be. Let's see. You're lucky they don't. You're lucky Amazon doesn't sell, hot food and bring it to your door, or, we have all the pizza places out of business and all that kind of stuff. All right, here we go. But I wanted it today because tomorrow I've got my oldest boy coming, his wife, and my grandson. And I'd probably like to play this game at least with him and his wife. I don't think of my grandson. He's for 14 years and older. So, but here is the lid. It's pretty solid, textured. You know what I'm talking about there, right? It's got a textured feel to it. Didn't know that. Cover art's great. This is by Peter McPherson. You can see that, and you can also see up here. Plays in about 45 minutes. 1 to 6 and 14 years and up. Okay. So like in every other game, the first thing you're going to see is the instruction manual, or the how to play manual, or the rule book, whatever you want to call this. There's not much to it. And I'm not even going to bother with going through the rules with you too much. I'm going to show you what's in the box first, and I'll tell you a few things about the rules. And I'll talk about the solo variant also. So I don't know too much about that. Okay. There is a score sheet. There's a lot of them in here, so you can play a lot of games before you have to worry about printing off some, which is what I would do. I would just scan this and print it. Or I might even put it on my iPad and just take a picture of it, put it on my iPad into something like Notability, which I use a lot, or Words or something. Or Microsoft Word even. And then I like Notability because I can write right in these squares then. And when I'm done, I just erase it all. So I may do that. But you've got enough for a whole bunch of games. I've used this for a while. Every player, there's 6 of these, gets a 4x4 grid. They're all the same. That's what it looks like. So you got 6 of those. Yep, that's what you got. And then you've got cards. These are the actual things you can build. And that's what you're going to be doing. You're going to be building these buildings, and they look like that, and they're in here as in wooden. They're here in wood. Somewhere in this mess they're there. Trust me. The other thing you get is these cards right here, which represent the various things you can buy, like wheat and brick and glass and wood. Yeah. All that's there. So how does it work? Well, you got this right here. And on any given turn, the player whose turn it is decides what you're going to be able to pick from that time. So let's say they say wheat. Everybody has to pick a wheat, which is a little yellow cube. This bag right here. You see them right there. And put it somewhere on their board. Doesn't matter where. But once it's down, you can't change it. Let's say I put it here for the sake of argument. No, I'm sorry. Let's say I put it up here. And let's say I want to build this cottage, which looks like this. If I put the yellow one here, I can put a blue one under it and then a red one next to it like that. Follow me? If I put a yellow one here, I can put a blue one here and a red one next to that. So you can turn this image any way you want. It could be like that. It could be like that. It could be reversed, which I can't really do. But you can reverse it so that it goes blue and then red on this side. Any of those are okay. But if I were to put the yellow up here, well, I could still do it. I could go yellow and then come down one to do blue, and then go over one to do red. So, but at times you can find that what you need to put down isn't compatible with what you've got out here. So you have to put it somewhere maybe where it can do less harm. Now, when you complete the pattern that's on here, yellow, blue, and red, you then can build the cottage, which is a blue building. And when you do that, assuming I had the yellow, blue, red here, I can put the cottage in any one of these three, and these three little squares that I had out here, little cubes, come off. So that clears that up, and I can put the cottage anywhere where I want, which again frees up other spaces for other stuff. Each of these buildings has something on it that says how many points it's worth at the end of the game. If you just build a cottage, it's worth nothing. However, if it's fed, what they call fed, it gets 3 points if it's fed. And there are buildings in here that will feed other buildings, and they do it in a certain radius. So you want to have that other building within a radius of this to be able to feed it. And that's pretty much the game. It really is. But you get a lot of strategy on what's available, because you're going to be able to look down and see what is available to be able to be played. And these boards were bent a little bit. I don't like that, but I'll bend them back. You ever have anything bent like that when you get it in the mail? What happened was the cards came out of the little slot that they're in here. That's how it comes packaged, by the way. So the cards were out of this, and the boards were kind of pushed on, I think. And then what that did was bend them. So I'm bending them back. It's a pretty easy thing to do. You want them to lay flat. So as long as they lay flat, I'm pretty happy. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good indeed. Yeah, they look good now. As long as they can all stay fairly flat like I've got them here. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good indeed. That's those cards. The pieces are like I said, are here. You'll be able to make the pieces go into various things. Various slots here, sorry about that. Cards up here, boards over it, little cards here, and then you have room for stuff down in here, and all this down in here. And then, of course, what I already showed you was the this. So really neat game, pretty simple. Now let me tell you a couple things. Put this back in here. I'll put some stuff back in here while I'm talking to you. So there's a solo variant. I mentioned the game, and the game is simple to set up. I'll show you a little bit of that. Put these back in here like this. Boom, perfect. We're real happy with the game so far. So the setup would look something like this. You have, I think there's eight buildings that you have to choose from in every game. Now, when you build one of these cards don't ever go away. Everybody has access to build these anytime. But there's a variety of different kinds of buildings, and not all the cards are going to go in here. You get a total of, let's see, 15 resource or 25 building cards, and you're only using 8. So there's all sorts of different ones that you're not using that you'll be able to use in other games. And here's the ones they suggest to play with to start the game. Right here, these 7, I guess, are. These 7 are the ones they suggest to use for your first game. And that's the ones you'd set up and use for your first game. And then later on, you'd go from there. Everybody does get one, and you still have to build it. You still have to pay for it, but everybody gets one. I guess they call it a monument. They're purple cards. Only so many of those. Only like 6 of those. And the monument cards, there's 15 of those. So 15 monument cards. You get 2, and you get to pick one. Again, you'll have to build it. That'll go into your hand. It stays kind of, the one card goes into the side out in your hand, and you don't have a hand. And you get a monument cube with that to be able to build your monument. If you can get whatever it takes to build it. They're usually pretty advanced. But they have a lot of power and a lot of points at the end, typically. So, and there's a whole section on monuments to explain all that. Not much more than what I just said, though. I already went through the building construction rules. The little on that card is exactly what you have to have on your 4x4 grid, that building, where those tiny cubes work. So that's pretty cool. It's shining behind me. Sunny day though. Each of them have some scoring examples in here. to tell you exactly how to do that. There's building clarification on all the 25 buildings, which is pretty neat. And the solo variant. Let me tell you about the solo variant. So, move the following cards from the game when play the solo variant, and there are 4. Don't think it matters right now what 4 they are. They're just 4 cards. One is the inn, the bank, and so on and so forth. That's probably the reason why those are removed. It probably has some sort of influence on other players, perhaps. These are why they're removed. So you shuffle the 15 resource cards to form a draw pile and reveal the top 3 cards. You choose to place any one of the 3 resources shown in your town, and construct around them. So that's these. That's the resource cards right here. So this is probably only used for the solo game. In other words, I just announced what you have to pick from. You don't have to do it this way. This strategy of draw pile. You do 3. You choose to place any of the 3 resources shown in your town and construct buildings as normal. Then place the corresponding card face down on the bottom of the draw pile and draw a new resource card to replace it. Yep. So you have the top 3 cards right next to a draw pile. I take this card, place it with another card for the top of the draw pile until they're all used, and I shuffle up and do it again. The game ends as normal when your town is completed. Your town is filled with resources, and you cannot or choose not to. Check your score against the chart below. 9 or less, you're an aspiring architect. 10 to 17, you're a builder's apprentice. 18 to 24 points, you're a carpenter. 25 to 31, you're an engineer. 32 to 37, you're a town planner. And 38 or more, you're a master architect. So 9 or less, an aspiring architect, and 38 or more would be the master architect. So that's these cards. That's what they're used for. And probably that's the only time they're used, is my guess. I can't imagine why you need them any other time. That comes in a resealable packet, by the way. I like when they do that. So this it keeps them nice when they're in here. That just peels up. And I am careful and just peel that up like that. Then I'll put the cards right back in there and seal it up. Just like that. I think that's the best way to do it. That's for the solo game only. That's cool. That's pretty much the game. Now, who do I think this could play with? I think you could play this with children under 14. That's my guess. They have to be able to look at the building cards which are out there, and they have to be able to determine what they can buy or how they want to put their things on here in order to be able to complete. You're not really buying it, but complete this. Have the materials ready to complete this one, and then where to put that piece of material. And there's like that for all these. So pretty cool indeed. Yes, there's 15 resource cards. There's 15 monument cards. Those are the ones I told you could build. The purple cards, they would be in here someplace. They're the same size as these. And there's 25 of the building cards. So 25, 15, 40 in this stack. 15 of the little ones. They're simply the resource cards. That's about right. Looks like a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. I love that you can play 6 people with it. There's plenty of materials to build all these buildings. And I supposedly, it scales, from what I've seen on Board Game Geek, it scales very well, whether it's 1 player, and it supposedly has a great 1-player game, all the way up to 6. So that's good news, that anybody can play with any number. I have 6 people in my household. I think any one of them might like this, or maybe all of them might like this, I should say. And I have other people that visit. So great game for 6 people or less. Even can play it with 1, which I think I'm going to do right now. Simple rule book. Love that they have all the buildings and even the monuments here on the back. Explain what each one does. Each one does have certain things. When you put it on your board, I didn't mention this, but one might say for every red building that you have, get 2 points. Great. For every building that's touching this, get 1 point. For every one of these types of buildings, get 2 points. So there's lots of different deviations or variations with this game. It looks like it has a long life in front of it. Tiny towns. That's it, guys. I did a live video, but I didn't expect anybody to be here. So what I'll do is, just was easier for me. I'll go ahead and post this up. Also put it onto my Dean of DVD and my Dean of Games channel. So looking forward to doing that. Hope your day as well was good, fun, productive, happy, all those things. And until the next time, this is Dean of DVD and Dean of Games wishing you well. And I just need to figure out how to stop this now. I'm sure there's a good way, but I don't know how. That's not it. That's it. Bye, guys.